Hi everybody, it's 314 Reactor here. Today we're going to be looking at another update to the DirectX11 renderer for Unreal Tournament by darknovismc. Not sure if that's how to pronounce your name, but there we go. So there's been an update which came out on the 1st of January 2020, new decade. Still new stuff for Unreal Tournament even though it's over 20 years old. Really cool to see. So I missed this update somehow, but now I'm obviously getting around to making a video for it. So this has added a whole bunch of extra cool stuff. Let's just have a look. So it's added in a SSA O ambient occlusion, which gives more realistic lighting and shadowing. Obviously tessellation, which is in the previous one. Screen space reflections, which is really cool. As you may remember if you've seen one of my previous videos, I managed to fake this using Reshade. So this is now actually doing it within the actual game engine itself, which is really cool. And then some improved HDR stuff, as well as all the previous cool stuff that we've had, like parallax occlusion mapping, etc. Yep, extra HDR filmic tone mapping, better contrast, color warmth in HDR using complex interpolation polynomial instead of just simple Reinhardt approximation. So that basically uses a better algorithm to make HDR. You're going to get much more lighting range and much more colors that then get calculated in huge numbers and then tone mapped to your screen that your screen can display it. Just take my word for it, it looks better. And then we've got 1x blending. 1x blending to give brighter looking environments and skyboxes. I'll try that out. 1x blending, I've not heard of that, but I'll try that out. And the option full mesh LOD disables mesh level of detail, so meshes are drawn with full detail even at high distances. So yeah, as you move away from objects, it shouldn't give them lower polygon models as you get further away. Fix displaying decals like bullet holes and blood splash. Yeah, essentially fix a few bugs with decals, blood, a few ambient occlusion bugs have been fixed. So I think that covers it. So, same as last time. So you open up the zip folder that it comes downloaded in, get the common folder, drag across to your Unreal Tournament system folder, overwrite whatever's in there, go up, go down to the game, Unreal Tournament 436, those two files over. And again, replace those. Make sure you get the common folder dragged in 100%, otherwise you won't get the new effects. Okay, let's boot the game up and let's see what it's like. So here we are in game. The first thing I noticed in the corner, there's a little watermark there from the creator. So you can go to PayPal and drop them a bit of moolah. That should help them out with developing this. First of all, if you haven't installed DirectX11 before, you'll need to change to it manually. So you go to Preferences, Video, and then you go to Change. And then that'll reboot your game and bring you to a selection screen where you can select DirectX11 and then you'll go into the game with DirectX11. Now the next thing to check is to go to Tools, System Console, Preferences, if I can type it right. And this will bring up a menu with even more options in. You go to Rendering, DirectX11 support, and under here you can see it's got the new SSA O. Not sure what that stands for, I'll have to check for that. That's set to true. So we should be getting better ambient occlusion, bump mappings on, detail textures, full mesh LOD on, HDR on, HDR filmic tone mapping on, high detail actors on, 1x blending. I'm going to turn that on just to see what that's like. Pre-cache, not too worried about that. Parallax occlusion mapping, that's on. SSR on. Tessellation only in CFG. I think that means it'll only pick up the CFG file for the tessellation, where you can change the amount of tessellation that's applied to every model in game, because some models look a bit funny when it's got tessellation applied, so you can reduce the amount of tessellation being applied to them. For this run I'm going to be leaving that at default, so you may see some weapons that look a bit funny, a bit ballooned up, but that's only because they're having full tessellation applied to them. So let's boot up a level. Let's go for a bit of Phobos. Okay, so right off the bat you can see there's reflections in the floor. So you can see the med packs being reflected. Looks like there's some odd stretching as the camera moves up and down. There's a few glitches with this, but it's an early version, so they should be improved over time. But that does look very cool. That looks really cool. I mean, the fact that screen space reflections are even in the Unreal Tournament from 1999 is, I mean, that's pretty cool. And the frame rate is around 90 frames a second. Wow, that filmic tone mapping looks really nice. Oh man, just when you think like we've reached the pinnacle of Unreal Tournament, someone comes up with something new. It's so cool. I'm not sure if SSR is being applied to the guns. I can't see any reflections in the barrel or anything, but hopefully that gets implemented in the future. Just trying to figure out if... Yep. So it looks like weapon effects get reflected as well, you can see there. See, at the moment I imagine there's some weird reflection calculations with what's on screen being stretched around and stuff. So that'll be... I imagine that will be fixed up. Yeah, when that's perfected, that's going to look really cool. Because it actually does give a very metallic-y effect to the surfaces. Especially if they can differentiate between surfaces, so some can be reflective and some can't be. For instance, you don't really want reflections in like mud and stuff, but this sort of metal you do. Oh, that looks cool. That looks very cool. Oh, that looks nice. Oh man. I did see a bump mapping option, and that's on, but I'm guessing it would need textures that actually have bump maps applied to them. So hopefully, someone in future makes some HD textures along with some bump maps. Oh man, everything just has such a rich color to it. Oh, it looks very, very nice. Oh, there you can see the rocket being reflected. Oh, oh, yep, that's cool. Oh, that is really, really cool. Let's fire up another map. Let's go for frigate. Not sure if the water's actually reflecting anything there. It could be because the water is a certain effect rather than like a texture or something, and that's why the SSR's not working on it. Hopefully that can be worked around in the future, because having reflective water would be awesome. You can see the water is being reflected in the actual ship there along the hull and along here, but there's no actual reflections in the water itself. See, this way in future, hopefully the dev can differentiate between different materials such as wood and stuff, because obviously wood wouldn't really reflect unless it was wet. Let's head inside the ship, have a quick look around. Oh yep, the inside of the ship looks really good. Oh, look at that. Yep, I like that. So making things look more metallic has been what this engine has needed for a while, so that is perfect. Oh, look at that. Oh, that looks really nice. That reflection there and that animation. The shell casing's being reflected there. You see reflections in the water there would be so cool, because you can see those rockets going across. Fingers crossed we can get that. Let's load up Arcane Temple. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, man. Oh. There's a good shot. There's a good shot. Look at that. Oh, man. Actually, you know what? Let's do another map for Filmic tone mapping. Man, how great is the music for this map? Okay, let's go to codecs and see what we can see. That looks pretty nice already. A little bit of lava there. There we go. Okie dokies. Let's get a good shot. A bit of the sky as well. Right. So this is with Filmic tone mapping on. And this is with Filmic tone mapping off. Yeah, that definitely does not look as good. Not quite as richer colours. Wow, it really does make quite a big difference. Wow. Oh. Then again, there does seem to be a weird sort of effect where things are darker for a bit, and as you saw then, suddenly they got lighter a bit. Not sure what's going on there. It might be a bug with it. Anyway, let's turn Filmic tone mapping back on. We may see that bug again as well. Let's keep an eye out for it. So you can see it's kind of a bit dark in the background there. Let's watch see if it happens. Let's move around a bit. There you go, see? Not sure if that's just related to my setup or something odd going on. But yeah, it does seem to look a lot better with Filmic tone mapping on. I'll double check from the footage where I can literally skip between them instantly. But from what I see generally, that does look better. Alright, so let's load up one of my favourite maps. So here we are on Lava Giant. Let's try turning Filmic tone mapping off and see what happens. There we go. So again, I think we've got that bug where everything's darker for a bit. Wait for that to pass. But it seems to be about 10 seconds before it goes away. It could be something to do with the lighting. Yeah, I'm fairly certain that the colour and lighting on that flag is not as good. But it could be a placebo effect at the moment. So anyway, let's turn Filmic tone mapping back on. Oh, you know what it might be? Ah, I think I know what it is. It's the watermark in the bottom right hand corner. When that disappears, that'll be when everything gets brighter, I bet. Boom. Yep, there you go. It's that UI element that's causing everything to be dark. That's what it is. So we've figured that out. That could be a bug, or it could be intentional. Quick check of the frame rate. Yeah, 97 frames a second. It's pretty damn good. The new SSA O seems to look very clean and nice as well. Let's get a on and off of that as well. So this is with the new SSA O on. And this is with SSA O off. And I've just googled what SSA O stands for. It stands for Adaptive Screen Space Ambient Occlusion. It could be something else. I'm not 100% sure. Let me check the release notes again. Yeah, in the release notes, Adaptive Screen Space Ambient Occlusion. Faster and better. So I'm guessing, yeah, it can dynamically adjust the amount of samples that it's using depending on the complexity of the scene. I'd guess. So it means you get better performance and, in theory, better image quality. So that's interesting. That's cool. So let's turn that back on. And there it is with it back on. Let's also do a comparison here of the Filmic HDR. I'll skip past the watermark so we'll be able to get a more direct comparison. So there it is with Filmic tone mapping on. And there it is with Filmic tone mapping off. So yeah, this looks pretty good. So let's have a proper round. Let's put some bots in, and let's do this with some Chaos UT. So you can see the frame rate dip just a bit there at the start. Other than that, it's running okay. Let's get a nice Redeemer explosion to look at. Looks like there may have been a glitch there with the ambient occlusion in that explosion, not sure. I think the developer does recommend that screen space reflections are turned off for the moment because they are quite buggy, but I'm going to keep them on because I think they look cool. Cannot wait for them to be perfected. It's going to look awesome. That's cool. So, let's do one final test. Let's load up Arcane Temple again. And let's see the difference between the 1x blending in the sky. So this is with 1x blending on. And this is with the 1x blending off. So I don't think that looks as good. Interesting. Okay, let's switch that back on. Then I'll flick to Turbine, I think, and play a game on that. And we can see it a bit more in action. Oh, I love those fire effects being reflected there. Anyway, over to Turbine. See, what I'm going to have to do now is make another video where I combine this with Reshade and make another Ultimate Unreal Tournament graphics video. Now that was satisfying. Whoa. Oh man. Right, finally let's look at some Morpheus, because I need to get a thumbnail. Oh, look at those reflections. Oh, that's cool. That reflection there, that looks really neat. Right, I think that is going to be my thumbnail, which you've already seen because you obviously clicked on this video. So, thanks for watching. Thanks to the developer for continuing the work on DirectX 11. It's been nearly 21 years of Unreal Tournament, and the modding community is still working very hard on adding things to it, making it look a lot better, which is really cool. So thank you to everyone that works on Unreal Tournament mods, and especially thank you to the person who's working on this DirectX 11 modification. I'll put a link in the description to their ModDB page so you can download it. Thank you for watching. Please do like and subscribe. I'm always making new videos on video games and general tech projects, so stick around and I'll see you in the next one.